Today, we are taking a look at the custom shells from the Nintendo Switch 2 from eXtremeRate. I'm going to tell you a little bit of the process of how it was to install these onto your Nintendo Switch 2, as well as some do's and don'ts, and a couple different colorways as well. What's up, guys? My name is Uncle G. Welcome back to the channel today. If you don't mind, please leave it a like and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we are just about there. We just need a couple hundred more. So please, if you don't mind, leaving a subscribe on the channel, it would really help me out. Today, we're taking a look at, like I said, at these eXtremeRate shells for your Nintendo Switch 2. Now, we're going to be focusing on this one. This is my personal Switch. This is what I chose to go with, this color options for my Nintendo Switch 2. And this is the one that I chose to go with, or actually my fiance chose to go with for her Nintendo Switch 2. And there's various combinations of buttons and shells on here that we will talk about as we go through the video. But first, I want to just show you guys the way that these look right here. So we got my Nintendo Switch 2 right here, and we have my fiance's up top here. This is going to be the pink color, and this is going to be obviously the clear transparent. Now, I do believe I ordered the glow-in-the-dark transparent. I haven't really seen, I'm looking under the desk right now, I haven't really seen this glow in the dark yet, so I'm not really sure if they sent me the right one or if it just doesn't glow in the dark. I'm not sure, but we're not here to review specifically the glow in the dark version. I mainly wanted this because of its transparent colorway. But let's take a look at hers first, actually, because I want to talk about a couple things specifically about this one first. So besides the lovely matte screen protector, which you can check out and get 10% off with my link in the description. I love this thing. But you can check out, what I did here. So I chose to go with, I don't know what this is actually called officially. We're going to call this the rail for the purposes of this video. So I ended up not going with the rail swap out, even though I did order the rail swap out. I actually had to change her heart while doing her shell, and I actually decided to keep the colored, stick gate as well as this right here as a look. Of course, I did the same thing on both Joy-Con. I think it looks really good. I think it actually works really well with like the stock, blue and orange colors with this like very mild pink. We get a little closer here. It's a very mild pink. It's pretty much true to life when I'm looking at my screen compared to, when I'm looking at in real life. I really like the way this looks. I would happily use this myself. I'm not a grown man who's afraid of pink, and I love the way this looks. I would happily use this colorway. Obviously, I chose to go with the stock black buttons. I did not replace her buttons, so we used the stock black buttons. Of course, we got the stick cap on there from Savage Raven. Again, save for 10% off with my link in the description. But yeah, the only things I really changed on the Joy-Cons were just going to be the front and back shells, as well as obviously the side piece right here. And at some point in this video, I'm going to be showing you a little montage of how to put this together. But like I said, I only really changed the shells on the front and the back and the side on this one. I did not go through the mid frame on this one, and I did not go through the rails. The rails take a lot of time. Take way more time than you would expect. It's a small piece of the Joy-Con, but there's a lot of tech going on in here, including like some rubber pieces that need to, like some dampening rubber pieces that need to go in to reduce vibrations. Very intricate Joy-Cons. I guess we can actually start there. So I kind of thought of it in the moment here, but let's start the video truly before we get deeper into the shells. I want to explain to you guys that the process to get these installed on your Nintendo Switch 2, and I did do the back by the way, is very involved. Now, I will say, if you've done Switch 1 Joy-Cons in the past, you're going to be very familiar with this process. There's nothing in this process that's going to be like, this is crazy difficult, I could never do it, versus last gen's Joy-Cons. They're just about the same. There's just more steps. I cannot stress enough how many more steps there are. It's not like it's more difficult. It's just that there's more steps. You know what I mean? Like as you keep going through, removing more screws, taking off more pieces, removing more buttons, taking off another piece of the shell. As you keep going through the Joy-Con removal process to swap to the new one, there's just more to this one. It's not more difficult. There's no soldering needed. There's nothing like that. There's nothing crazy. It's just a lot of screws and a lot of patience to be able to take off the old shells and swap the new ones. The first Joy-Con I did was this one right here, this transparent one. This one took me 3 hours and 15 minutes by itself. It took a really long time because, like I just mentioned, it was a bit crazy to me how much extra steps there was. As you can see with this one, I did swap out the rail, and I did not do the mid frame on either one. On the transparent one, it makes more bigger difference, but you can see there's only like the top, very top here, you can see kind of like the black mid frame popping through just a little bit. You really can't tell that the black maybe just the side pieces right there where the battery is. There's not many spots where you can see the mid frame making a difference, especially on the opaque shells. Don't replace the mid frames with the opaque shells. It does not matter. Last gen with the Switch 1, you could see a strip of the mid frame on the outside. This one you can't. It's just the buttons on the outside. So whatever button colors you choose is what you're going to see. But after I got through the big, long process it took for this first Joy-Con, I actually breezed through the right Joy-Con as well as the back shell. I think that took me, those two took me about another 3 hours. So for totals, this took me about 6 hours, a lot more time than it would have if it was a Switch 1. Like I said, because there's a lot of steps, but I'm going to stress again, that's not that it's more difficult. You just need a lot of patience, and you need to reserve a lot of time, because your first swap is going to take you a little bit more time, because at least for me, of course I didn't break anything. I had every screw go in and out of this thing. I followed the guide to a T. eXtremeRate has a guide that you want to follow to a T, and if you do that, you won't break anything, you won't lose any screws. Just make sure you're very patient and you pay attention. And now with the pink one here, I did not follow the guide for this one because I was very confident after completing the transparent one. I did them back-to-back days. This whole thing total took me around 3 hours, the whole thing. So obviously I've reduced my time by about half. Of course, that first Joy-Con was the real issue, just to get used to the new process of swapping the shells out. But this took me about half the time. Now, I did not follow the guide to a T, like I just mentioned. I recommend that you at home follow the guide for a T, because they even go through different screw sizes. And there's one big mistake that I made that is a rookie mistake, and if you've swapped shells before, you've done it once or twice. This is probably my second time doing this. I'm usually very meticulous and good about these things, but I wanted to rush through because it took me so much time yesterday for this transparent one. It wasn't yesterday, it was actually a week ago. But it took me so much time, I didn't want to take that much time with this one, and I didn't. But I made a couple mistakes, and the biggest mistake that I made, as you can see, I'm going to highlight it even though I don't want nobody to see it, right there. If you see a little dot right there, I think some people at home, you should know what that dot is. That means I put the wrong screw in the wrong spot. I put a slightly too long screw in a smaller screw post. That's not a big deal, but I did tighten it just a little bit too much. As you can see, it's a permanent dot in the plastic, but that's the big issue. That's why learn from my mistakes. Follow the guide for your first time. For the second time, you probably should follow the guide too, because I also left out about 2 screws from this whole thing. Not bad, honestly, not bad. But I was left with 2 extra screws by the end, one of which I think I know exactly where it goes, and the other one I have no idea where it goes. So it's probably somewhere in the motherboard. But yeah, all that to say is to follow the guide, and I with confidence can say if you've done the Switch 1 before, you're going to have no problems with this one. It's just going to take you a lot of time. To just reserve some time, just spend the day doing this really slow, take your time, put some music on if you need to. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Just make sure that you're doing something. Don't just splay your table out randomly. Make sure that your table is organized, everything on the table, even if it's organized chaos like my table, I know where everything was to millimeters. So make sure that you have an organization skills of some sort while you're doing this, because you're going to need a lot of space to do this, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong and go missing during the process. Use the tweezers. eXtremeRate was kind enough to send me some extra tweezers in this process. Just use the tweezers as much as possible. Be careful with the ribbon cables, but besides that, and the battery. Definitely be careful with the tweezers around the battery, because they're very sharp. But use the tweezers. The tweezers are your friend. They are those little tiny, skinny, firm fingers to get into the very small pieces of the Switch 2. So make sure that you're utilizing your tweezers. Take breaks. I took multiple breaks throughout the process. Just make sure you take breaks, because it's going to the first time is going to take you a little while. Even if you're experienced, it's going to take you a little while just to get reacclimated and situated with the new Switch 2 setup. This is a big one. Make sure to grab the colors that you like and that you want, including button colors. So for example, I'll actually start with my fiance's first. On hers, I actually just decided to go with the stock buttons and the stock sticks. I thought that was actually a really nice look. It's hard to tell until you get them in person. So, it's going to get a little pricey, but make sure that you're getting what you want. If you're going to do this, you're going to spend the time on it, the effort, make sure you're going to make it look the way that you want it to look, and make sure that you're going to be happy with it, because once you're done, the last thing you want to do is be unhappy with what you created. But with hers, I'm super happy with the way this came out. She's super happy with it as well. I love the way this came out. And with mine, I'm even more happy because it's exactly what I wanted and really made me really happy when I finished it. So I went with the clear transparent shell with the white buttons. I got heavy inspiration from Bob Wolf. I love the way his came out. I went with the white sticks. So eXtremeRate also sells extra sticks that change out the color of the gate. They are not Hall effect. They're not TMR or anything like that. But I can tell you that they do feel identical. And I mean identical. Actually, my sticks just felt a little bit creakier, my old sticks from the Switch 2. These new sticks, they just feel even better than my current sticks that are like, the sticks from launch. If you want new sticks and you want new stick color gates, definitely get the new colored sticks. It's going to add $20 to your price. But again, like I said, it's going to be expensive. But if you're going to do this, get everything that you want to get. Save the extra cash. Get all the extra pieces that you want because it's going to turn out exactly the way you like it as long as you pick out the things that you want. Okay, so like I was saying, here's the pink version. We got this is the blue Joy-Con right here. You can see, again, like I said, I did not change the rail color out right here, and I did not change her sticks. I thought that colorway with the pink and the blue, or the orange and the blue, I thought that looked really good with this pink color. It works really well, even with the black as well. Black top buttons here. I did not swap the mid frame out. Original buttons. Looks fantastic. I love the way this looks. On the tablet itself, this is a little interesting part. The stickers are a little bit of a beach to get out. So take your time with the sticker. They recommend a hair dryer or a heat gun. I just kind of went in raw dog with my tweezers. The first time I did it, I destroyed the old sticker. The second time I did it, I learned from my mistakes. And actually, if you go in, if you use a tweezer and kind of dig in opposite of the connector there, it actually pulls out easy, super easy. The adhesive comes right off. And a fair warning, underneath of these stickers is an adhesive, obviously, because they're stickers, these like colored parts here on your Switch 2. They stink. I don't know why, but they literally smell like cheese. Now, you may be thinking it's like grime or dirt or something like that, which is the first thing I thought. But then again, it's like hers is even younger than mine, and hers smelled exactly like mine. And I promise you, we are very clean. We do not, we're not gross. We keep our Switch 2s either in its dock or we keep it in its case, nicely protected. There's no water in this thing or anything. The smell that I smelled was apparently the adhesive. I used Google Gemini I'm like, what the hell is this smell? It smells like cheese. It's the adhesive. Apparently, as it breaks down, it can smell like that. So just a fair warning as you get in here. My fiance almost vomited the way I was like, smell this. It smelled terrible. So just FYI, the adhesive stinks on this thing. Moving on, so we got the back piece. Now the kickstand on this kit did not come with a replacement kickstand. It only came with the kickstand like plastic pieces on the hinge there. But the hinge itself is black. They give you a sticker. I don't personally love this sticker. If this was mine, I probably would have taken off this sticker. I don't really like the sticker though. It's slightly different colors. You can see on camera. It's just a slightly different color of pink. That would drive me insane, but she doesn't mind it. It does go all the way on the top, and the people say you can't see it when you swap it. You can see the shell when you're playing. As you can see, just like looking at the screen, the top and the bottom have just the slightest hint of as it wraps around of the color. It's actually even better on this model, on my model, because mine's clear. And as you can't see much right now, but like let's say you're playing, in front of your TV on the couch, the clear is going to shine through. The light coming from your TV or a light source from the back, it's going to shine through the top here, and you're really going to be able to see the transparentness of this while you're playing it. So it's not like, obviously it's not the bezel. Bezel hasn't changed at all, but it does look really good. I like the subtleness of it from the front and the back. It's just boom. Look at that, transparent. Now, moving on to this one, you can see I did swap out the rail on this one. It was no problem. It just took a lot of time. That's the theme to this one, is that it just takes a lot of time, but it was worth it on the transparent one, especially because look at just how good this all looks. I love that. They give you replacement magnets in the kit as well. So I have the SL, SR buttons right there. They're black magnets as opposed to the colored magnets that they give you on the Switch 2. But that's, that's all they give you otherwise. You can really see the mechanism. Like, let's get in there with the transparent. You can really see right here, like click this one down. You can see that working. Can't you see that spring and button action working? I just love the way that looks and turned out. And like I said, I chose the white buttons. I actually went with a different approach. I went with the clear bumper and then the white trigger. I thought that was a really nice, kind of combination, as well as the white, what do you call this? popper offer button. It's just a little mechanism. Actually, let's take a look at that mechanism with the clear. There we go. Look at this. You can see that spring and pushing on that plastic in the spring with it's just so cool. I love the transparent. You can see how all of this works. Now the back of this thing, it's unfortunate. You have to have these certain stickers. There's a few you can see if you look around. There's some stickers. The biggest and most obvious one is this one right here. You have to put on. It's a shield that protects the heat from melting the plastic. You have to put those on. It's not optional. I do not recommend avoiding those steps. But again, you can see the mechanism right there working. Look how cool. You can see all that moving and working. I wish you could see the fan spinning. That's the one thing, but you have to have that sticker there to protect the Switch 2 from melting itself. So that's a necessary evil. But yeah, I love the way that these turned out visually. I made no mistakes on the clear one. I made a couple with the pink one, but you learn from my mistakes here, folks. Learn from my mistakes. Make sure to organize yourself, put the right screws in the right spots, choose the colors that you want. You know, if this guy right here, if I were to pay for this, eXtremeRate sent this for me over for review, so thank you very much for that. So I did not pay a dime for this, but as far as what this costs if I were to, the buttons are 20 bucks, the sticks are 20 bucks, the clear shell is 40. So altogether, that's going to be quite an expense. We're looking at upwards of 80 bucks for what I did here on my Switch 2. That's expensive, but like I said, I never said this is going to be cheap. This is expensive for your time and it's expensive for your cash. But if it's something that you want to do, I think it's going to really elevate your Switch 2 look and make that stock shell go away. And you know, this one's a little bit cheaper. This one, as far as what I installed in this one, I kept the original buttons, I kept the original sticks. The only thing that I installed on here was the kit, and that's going to be 40 bucks for this one. So yeah, I mean, this one's half the price, and arguably you could say this one looks better. You know, it's obviously personal preference. I like this one better, but I love this one too. I'd happily be a user of this one. So either way, eXtremeRate did a great job with these shell swaps. Let's switch it over to the other camera. A couple last things before we go here. Yeah, the plastics feel just about the same now, especially this opaque version. I gotta be honest, it doesn't feel all that different. If it does feel different, it doesn't feel worse. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it feels worse than the stock Switch 2. This one is a little bit smoother, lacks that gritty texture of the Switch 2. You could either like that or you don't like it. I don't care either way. I think this feels really nice and looks really great. Yeah, no complaints with the material types. Now this one is a little bit different. This one is a bit of a smoother plastic for the clear. This one is smooth, but this one's even smoother. It's actually a little slippery. I dropped it a second ago during the editing or during the recording process here. But again, it doesn't feel bad. There's nothing. It's not like you're gonna hold this and go, this feels like crap. Why would I want to swap over to this especially for a lot of money? They did a great job making this feel nice and premium. This plastic feels good. It doesn't feel identical to the Switch 2, but if that's not a problem for you, then it's high quality. It feels nice and good. No complaints for the quality of this. And in fact, partially why it's expensive too is they go through the R&D to make sure everything is nice and tidy. The screws are all organized. They give you all the replacement screws. They give you all the extra tools that you need. So you don't actually need to buy any extra tools. The tools that came in the kit are the ones that you can use. It's nice to have better screwdrivers and a better tweezer and stuff like that, but you don't need to. And if you lose a spring or if you lose any piece, they give you doubles a lot of things. For most things, that you have a replacement in the kit already afforded to you. So for your price, you don't actually need to buy anything extra. But if you lose something, they give you a couple extras too. So it's not like they just give you these shells and that's it. They give you a ton of extras that make this price validated. It's still expensive, but it's validated because they go above and beyond. On top of all of that, not to mention the hour-long guide that goes step by step, screw by screw, cable by cable to swap this thing out and over to the new shell. I mean, that's worth a cost right there in and of itself. So and it's very much appreciated for people like me who are not professionals at this by any means. All I've done is messed around with Game Boy Advances. I've never done iPods, but Game Boy Advances and Nintendo consoles. That's really all I messed around with. And I gotta say, they've done a great job with the guides too. This was a flawless install, flawless swap. Every screw, nothing broke. Everything was perfect with this one. So I'll leave links in the description for where you guys can check out the eXtremeRate website and you can make choices of which colors and options you want to go with for your Switch 2. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching this video and checking it out. I really do appreciate it. It supports the channel. If you leave a like and subscribe, it helps me out a ton. I'm super appreciative of eXtremeRate for sending these over for review. And if you want to check out some other videos on the channel, I got some grip videos on the channel and some other accessories. So I'll link those right here at the end. But thank you guys for watching and we'll catch you in the next one.